Welcome to Voodoo Whiskey Gaming, and to start out with a non sequitur, fuck you, Metal Gear Solid 5. I don't know what happened, I didn't do any of the glitches that I am aware of, but my save data is ruined because every time I respawn into the game, my character just instantly dies. I'm only mentioning this because I was going to play an hour or so before I filmed this, and I couldn't because of that. I had to restart from the beginning, and that really blew. Now to get back on track, today I will be reviewing the DLCs for Destiny, The Dark Below, The House of Wolves, and The Taken King, all available on the Xbox One and PS4. I played on the PS4. If you're wondering why all three, it's because I hadn't played the first two DLCs. So each of the three DLCs has their own story, and to put it simply, they're pretty much the exact same story. Stop the big bad guy. In The Dark Below, you need to stop the return of Crota. In The House of Wolves, you need to stop one of the Kells from becoming the Kells of Kells. And in The Taken King, you must stop Oryx, the father of Crota. I will say the difference between the first two and The Taken King is that you get to know a little bit more about one of the Guardians, Cayde 6. That's interesting, at least. Now, the voice work as a whole is better, which I honestly didn't really expect because I know I'm in the minority here, but I actually did not have any problems with Peter Dinklage's Ghost. I mean, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I thought he was doing an interesting take on being a little robot guy. But with the DLCs and the updates, it is overall better with Nolan North. He brought a lot of personality to the Ghost, and it did add a lot, and I didn't expect it to. You also get to hear a bit more from the Guardians that dole out the missions, but especially you hear more from Cayde 6, who is voiced by Nathan Fillion, and that's always a bonus in my mind because it's Nathan Fillion. The sound as of right now is honestly a little worse than it was in just plain old Destiny, and that's simply because there are some missing sound effects. They don't happen that often. Specifically for me, it was when I was getting engrams decoded, and the sound effects there were just missing, and I have no idea why, but they'd be everywhere else. Obviously, that can be fixed through a patch later, but at the moment, I do find it distracting. As for the gameplay and controls, if you've played Destiny, well, then you know exactly what you're in store for. If you haven't, it's got great controls. They're very tight, they're very clean. They're everything I want in a first-person shooter. As for the gameplay, it's very much an MMORPG, and I know that Bungie doesn't really like it being called that, but at the end of the day, that's basically what it is. On the gameplay side, they've added a new weapon class, the Sidearm, which is basically a handgun, and for the most part, I like it. I've enjoyed using it, but I do have one massive complaint, and that it doesn't feel anything like any of the other weapons in the sense that I cannot score the critical hits like I used to. Any other gun I put on, I'm scoring critical hits like it's nothing, whereas when I use the sidearm, it's a serious problem. One of the biggest additions to the game is the addition of new subclasses for the Hunter, the Warlock, and the Titan. Now, I haven't used any of the new subclasses in the Crucible, so I can't say for sure if any one of them is really unbalanced at the moment, but I have used them in the single player and co-op, and I've got to say, they seem pretty well balanced in that sense. I didn't feel like I was kicking more ass than anyone I was playing with. Bungie has also added a few new areas, small ones to the already existing areas, but they did add a whole new half of a zone. That is the Dreadnought, which is Oryx's ship, and I call it half a zone because, well, it's not a new planet, damn it. Obviously, there have been plenty of other balancing tweaks since the release of Destiny and to the release of The Taken King, but, I mean, they're all very standard, balancing out the light, balancing out the leveling, raising the level cap, etc., etc. It's all very standard stuff when you're adding an expansion to an MMORPG. As for the graphics, I don't feel there's a lot for me to say there. The game is as beautiful as it was when Destiny was released, mostly because it happens in a lot of the same areas from the original Destiny. At the end of the day, I paid $60 for the game. Mind you, I sold my old copy of Destiny to buy the new copy with the 3 DLCs, and if you're a brand new player, $60 for Destiny and the 3 DLCs, that's worth it. But if you already own the first 2 DLCs, I think you're getting screwed since you have to buy the bundle, which is $60, and it includes Destiny, the game you already have, The Dark Below, which you already have, and The House of Wolves, which you already have. So that's kind of a ripoff, and I think Bungie has taken a horrible approach to the DLC and expansion method that they're using for Destiny. So in the comments below, why don't you let me know what your favorite DLC or expansion pack has been? Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, and if you like what I'm doing in general, subscribe. Have a good one.